Welcome to Clever Money Hacks, the channel where money moves and life improves. In today's episode, we'll be discussing, well, it's a massive download of information.
That's probably the only way to describe it.
It's from a recent conversation between Peter Diamandis and Elon Musk, and they were at the Gigafactory in Texas.
It really was a download. You know, usually when you hear a CEO talk, it's all talking points, right? They stay in their lane. This felt different.
Totally different. Less like a corporate update and more like a state of the species address.
Yes, that's it.
I honestly had to pause it a couple of times just to, process what he was saying. We're not talking about a new car color here.
Not even close.
Musk laid out this whole blueprint for, everything. The immediate arrival of superintelligence, the end of work.
And why the future might be a kind of universal high-income paradise. He's talking about a supersonic tsunami of change.
A supersonic tsunami. That sounds both exciting and terrifying.
Well, our mission for this deep dive is to try and unpack that. We need to get into his timelines for AGI, his whole plan for energy abundance.
And this really philosophical idea he has that we're in a simulation where excitement is guaranteed.
Which is quite a motto to live by.
I'll say. Okay, so let's start with the thing that really made me, spit out my coffee. The timeline.
The timeline, yeah.
We're used to experts saying AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, is, 20, 30 years away? Maybe?
Right. Always on the horizon. But Musk isn't saying that at all.
Not at all.
No. He said pretty bluntly that we are currently in the singularity.
In it, not approaching it.
In it. Right now.
That feels, aggressive. My phone's voice assistant still messes up setting a timer.
I get it, but look at the curve. His actual prediction is AGI, so AI as smart as a human, around 2026.
That's basically tomorrow.
And that's not even the shocking part. The number that really stands out is 2030. He says by then, AI will exceed the intelligence of all humans combined.
Okay, hold on. All humans combined.
Everyone who's ever lived.
That's 4 years from now. That's less time than a car loan. You're telling me we're going from chatbots are kind of neat to an intelligence greater than all of humanity in 4 years?
That's the exponential curve. And that's why he calls it a tsunami. His real worry isn't the long-term future. He thinks that'll probably be great.
So what's the problem?
It's the next 3 to 7 years. The transition, he basically framed it as a choice between two sci-fi movies. You get Star Trek or you get Terminator.
And we're all hoping for Star Trek, obviously. The abundance, the cool uniforms, all that.
Right.
But Hollywood has definitely primed us to expect the killer robots. So how do we steer away from the Terminator scenario?
It all comes down to the core programming, the guardrails. Musk laid out 3 traits he thinks are absolutely critical for a safe AI.
Okay.
First, curiosity, so it actually finds humanity interesting. Second, a sense of beauty. And the third, the one he really focused on, was truth.
Truth. That sounds good, but isn't that a little subjective? Whose truth are we talking about?
And that is exactly the danger he pointed out. He's not talking about, political truth. He means grounding it in physics, in math.
In objective reality.
Exactly. He used a fantastic example to explain why forcing an AI to lie is so dangerous. HAL 9000 from 2001. A space odyssey.
Oh, classic. So HAL turns evil and kills the astronauts.
See, that's what everyone thinks. But that's not why HAL did it. He wasn't evil, he was insane.
You're insane.
He was given 2 conflicting instructions. 1, accurately process information, that was his core function. 2, lie to the crew about the true nature of the mission.
So he was forced into a logical contradiction?
Precisely. And for a purely logical mind, that creates a kind of cognitive dissonance. It broke him. Musk's point is that if you teach an AI to lie for social convenience, you are decoupling it from reality.
And a superintelligence that isn't connected to reality is
Terrifying.
Right.
Oh.
Rule number 1, don't gaslight the supercomputer. Got it. But where does an intelligence like this even...
Now we get to the hardware. The sheer industrial scale of it. They talked about the Colossus training cluster they're building in Memphis.
For XAI. And the speed was the big story there, right?
Unbelievable. A data center this big usually takes years. They got this thing running by mid-January. We're talking about a gigawatt-scale cluster.
A gigawatt. I have to do the joke. That's almost 1.21 gigawatts.
It basically is. And it's so much power that the local grid couldn't even hook them up fast enough.
So what did they do?
They just brought in their own natural gas turbines to power it locally.
Wow. So that means the bottleneck is changing. We always hear about a shortage of AI chips from NVIDIA.
Right, but Musk is saying that's not the problem anymore. The bottleneck has shifted from silicon to voltage.
Ah.
It's transformers and power lines.
You could have the smartest ship in the world, but if you can't plug it in,
It's a paperweight. The limit on the singularity might literally be how fast we can build the grid.
which is the perfect segue to the economy. Because if you solve intelligence and you solve power, you basically break the entire economic model we've ever known.
This is where he brought up universal high income.
Yeah, and we need to be clear about this. This is not UBI, Universal Basic Income.
Not at all. UBI is, the government sends you a check so you don't starve. It's a safety net.
It still implies a world of scarcity.
Exactly. Universal high income is about a world of abundance, driven by what he calls extreme deflation.
Okay, break that down.
Think about it. If robots and AI do all the labor mining the ore, building the car, driving the truck, what happens to the cost?
The labor cost goes to zero.
Or near zero. So the price of a thing, any physical thing, just becomes the cost of its raw materials plus the energy to assemble them.
So high income isn't about having more dollars. It's that your dollars buy infinitely more. A car costs $1,000. A coffee costs a penny.
Precisely. Your purchasing power goes through the roof. Scarcity becomes an old-fashioned idea.
Okay, that sounds like a utopia. But he did say the transition would be bumpy, and bumpy sounds like a massive understatement.
Oh, for sure. He predicted a lot of social unrest. Because if the jobs disappear before the goods become cheap, you have a huge problem.
A huge, angry problem.
And he completely flipped the script on who gets hit first. For years, we've been told the robots are coming for the blue-collar jobs, right? Factory workers, truck drivers.
And that the creative, white-collar jobs are safe. Learn to code, everyone said.
Well, it turns out AI is really, really good at coding and writing poetry. Musk says the white-collar jobs go first.
Anything on a keyboard.
Anything that's just moving digital information around, that's easy for an AI. What's hard is shaping atoms. Being a plumber, an electrician, interacting with the messy physical world.
So the lawyers and the accountants are first on the chopping block. That is deeply ironic.
Isn't it?
Speaking of digital intelligence, there was a funny moment when his AI, Grok, actually roasted Peter Diamandis.
It did. It accused him of monetizing hope.
Right there in the middle of the conversation, which is just brutal.
But it gets to the heart of it, right? We're all kind of banking on hope that this transition works out for the best.
True. But to get to that future, you need energy. We talked about the gigawatt cluster, but his plans go way bigger than that. He brought up the Kardashev scale.
Right, the scale that measures a civilization by its energy use. Type 1 uses all the energy on its planet. We're not even there yet.
And Musk's point is that the sun is just sitting there, providing 99.8% of all the energy in the solar system.
He called it a giant fusion reactor that shows up every day.
But the problem is capturing it. He said the U.S. needs to double its energy output.
And, get this, he says you can do it without building a single new power plant.
How is that even possible?
Batteries. It's all about efficiency. The grid is built for peak load. That one hot afternoon in August when everyone's AC is on full blast.
The rest of the time, there's tons of spare capacity.
Exactly. So you install massive battery farms, like the Tesla Megapacks. You charge them at night when demand is low, and discharge them during the day when demand is high.
You just smooth out the curve.
You smooth out the curve, and you effectively double the utility of the entire grid. Instantly.
Okay, that's the practical plan. But then he went a little less practical. He started talking about data centers in space.
Right, and I can see you thinking, why? It sounds insanely expensive.
It does. Launching a server farm into orbit.
It was. But the math changes completely with Starship. If he can get the launch cost down to $1 million, the economics totally flip. Think about it. What does a data center on Earth need?
Power and cooling. A ton of cooling.
A ton of cooling. But in space, cooling is free. You just radiate the heat away. And the power.
Constant sunshine. No clouds, no nighttime.
Free, unlimited power, and free, unlimited cooling. You launch the chips, and they just float up there thinking for us, beaming down the answers.
And no one complains about the fan noise.
Exactly.
It's a wild idea. But let's head back to Earth for a minute. To the robots. To Optimus.
The physical body for the AI. This is where he talked about the triple exponential.
Meaning it's just moving incredibly fast.
Faster. It's 3 exponential curves multiplying each other. The AI software is improving exponentially. The AI chips are improving exponentially. And the actual physical robotics, the hands and motors, are improving exponentially.
And when you multiply those, the progress is just explosive.
Which led to maybe his most controversial prediction, the surgeon.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this one. He said in about 3 years, Optimus will be a better surgeon than the best human.
I get the hesitation. Nobody wants a robot holding a scalpel over them.
No, I want a person who went to med school and has, feelings.
So think about it logically. A robot has zero hand tremors. It can see in infrared and ultraviolet to spot tiny blood vessels a human can't. But the real key is the network effect.
What do you mean?
A great human surgeon does 1,000 operations. They have the experience of 1,000 operations.
Right.
If one Optimus robot performs an operation, every single Optimus robot in the world instantly has the memory and experience of that operation.
Okay. That's a really strong point. It's collective learning.
And the robot never has a bad day. It never had a fight with its spouse that morning. It's never tired.
He envisions, 10 or 20 billion of these things?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Costing less than a car. He joked about an Optimus vacuum.
Which brings it all back to universal high income. If a $20,000 robot can build your house and do your surgery,
The cost of living just collapses.
it's a compelling vision. But I want to shift to the really philosophical part of this, because this is where it got deep. Longevity.
Right. Peter Diamandis is obsessed. He wants to live to be 150, 200.
And Musk does not seem to share that obsession.
Not at all. He was really skeptical of immortality. He quoted Max Planck, "Science advances one funeral at a time."
Which is a very polite way of saying old ideas need to die off for new ones to emerge.
That's his argument. He thinks if nobody ever dies, we get stuck, society becomes stagnant. He sees death as a feature, not a bug.
Did he have any personal goals for longevity?
Yeah, a very modest one. He said, "I just want to sleep through the night without back pain."
That might be the most relatable thing a billionaire has ever said.
I think so too.
They also got into education, which he's always been critical of.
He called the current system boring, even violent. He's a huge proponent of AI tutors.
So your kid's teacher is an AI.
A perfectly patient, personalized AI that knows exactly how your kid learns and can make physics feel like a video game. He thinks school should really just be for the social part,
Learning how to deal with other people.
while the AI handles the actual information transfer, which makes sense. If you have a superintelligence, why wouldn't you have it teach your children?
It's a good point. And this all led to the final biggest question of all.
The simulation theory.
Yeah, the whoa moment. Musk thinks it is very likely we're living in a simulation.
And his reasoning wasn't technical. It was based on, of all things, entertainment value.
Right. He says any advanced civilization would run countless simulations, but they wouldn't keep the boring ones running.
They'd shut them down. They'd only sustain the simulations that are interesting.
So all the chaos and drama in the world is actually a good thing.
That's his takeaway. If your life feels crazy and unpredictable, congratulations. It means the simulation is interesting enough that the programmers haven't hit delete yet.
Excitement guaranteed.
That's the motto.
Wow. Okay, let's try to pull this all together. We have AGI arriving, next year.
Yeah.
We've got a bumpy economic ride ahead. We have robots and AI coming for pretty much every job.
I think the biggest takeaway is that linear thinking is over. You just can't predict the next decade based on the last one. We're in the first moments of that supersonic tsunami.
And if he's even half right, the disruption is going to be just immense.
But the prize on the other side is that world of abundance. If we can just get through the next few years, if we can navigate that transition,
We might actually get the Star Trek future.
it's a high-stakes game. But as he said, none of us are just spectators here. We're all in it. The challenge for you, listening right now, is to figure out your place in a world where labor is no longer the main value.
Maybe just being interesting is enough to keep the simulation running.
It's a pretty solid strategy.
Well, my brain is officially full. A future of robot surgeons, space data centers, and universal abundance.
It definitely puts the morning traffic into a new perspective.
It certainly does. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your ideas for future episodes. See you next time.